Banshee really did a number on this gun. It's never been this reliable.
We awoken were born of light and dark. Our perspective on the universe is a complex one. The light is not inherently good, as your warlords of the Dark Age so clearly demonstrated. In spite of Zavala's preconceptions, darkness is not inherently evil. Some among you already discovered this on Europa. In my travels, I have seen true evil. It is the worm gods that the Hive serve. It is the Black Fleet, waiting to strike. It is the entity that commands them all. The voice in the darkness. These creatures are not evil because they wield darkness. They are evil because, like Savathun and Zivu Araf, they are cruel, hateful things with no regard for the lives of others. Some might say that includes me as well. I will let history be the judge of my guilt. Before that judgment is cast, I will see my Techians returned. Perhaps with them I can save us all.
This place has such a unique vibration. The air hums with energy.
The paracausal forces that converge here are mighty. They will increase as you open more ley lines.
We need to reinstall the batteries for the Blindwell's regulators. Fair warning. The batteries look small, but the amount of energy they contain is massive. They'll be heavier than expected.
I'm sure we can carry them in shifts. Many hands make the light work, right? I never knew something as small as those batteries could be so dense. And I thought Glint was heavy for his size. The Taken are massing for another attack. They just can't take a hint.
Zivu Arath won't let them. They're driven by an insatiable need to heed her commands.
I saw the same thing with the cryptoliths on the shore. So many minds ruined by her need to dominate.
The strong forcing the weak to fight on their behalf. It's the oldest story in the world. Destroy as many Taken as you can. When one of their leaders drops Taken essence, bank it to limit their influence.
You can carry a lot of weight, Petra. I'm impressed.
I've had no choice. For years, the Dreaming City rested on my shoulders.
Make sure you keep your compass safe. Things are about to get loud. I've been to the Dreaming City before, but I don't know if I've ever really taken time to appreciate it until now.
There is so much more than you've seen. And all of that, it pales to what resides in the distributary. You could stay, if you wanted. I could show you.
I'm not sure the Vanguard would... I don't know.
There's no need to decide now. Think it over. You deserve to know your people's history. Align the beacons, Guardian, and signal the way home.
I'm detecting beacon alignment, but there are enemies closing on your position.
I wonder if the Scorn's presence here has anything to do with Callus's horrific experiments aboard the Glycon.
Beacon aligned. They'll have felt that. Be ready. Last beacon aligned. Be ready for anything. And the rift is open. Bring our Techian home.
Taken presence here is overwhelming. With Quria defeated, I assumed Savathun would have lost control of them. But they seem just as organized, just as directed. By whose hand?
There are greater things in the dark than hive gods, Ikora. The Black Fleet's powers are vast. Oryx did not invent the Taken. He merely borrowed them.
Wish I could be out there. Osiris was like family to me.
You've never even met him.
I know. Just let me speak to Savathun, please.
No. I won't give that witch another chance to dig her claws into you.
Maybe she's right, Crow.
You know I am. Savathun is already in your head. You're a liability to the mission.
Why do you have such a problem with me, Petra? 5 minutes, that's all I'm asking.
The Queen of the Reef forbids it.
Well, I don't take commands from the Queen of the Reef.
Savathun unraveled the Dreaming City with a single wish. I've spent years trying to contain that mistake. Better men than you died because of it.
To my ear, it sounds like you're the liability. Maybe your Queen's trust in you was misplaced. A knife against a hunter? I'd be more careful who you pick fights with.
Another step, and my Corsairs will have to prepare you a second grave.
Save it for the hive, both of you. This isn't getting us anywhere. Thank you. We could all probably use a minute to cool off. Oh no.
Keep both eyes on that one.
You can't stop the inevitable. No one can. Though Petra Venj seems perfectly willing to try. I've always sympathized with Crow, you know. All the kind words I shared with him as Osiris were sincere. I know what it's like to be in exile. To be hated for things outside of your control. It would be better for Crow if we talked. I want to explain why I did what I did. I want him to know that my affection is true. Because the less he knows, the more vulnerable he is. Doomed to be strung along by false promises from supposed benefactors. But then again, I'm the one trapped in the crystal prison. What do I know?
Venj thinks I'm vulnerable, and I'm supposed to just take a seat? Like I was the only one fooled by Savathun wearing Osiris' skin? You'd known him far longer than I thought I had, but I don't see her forbidding you from speaking to her. Because it's not about me. It's about who I was, isn't it? Every time the Vanguard tells me that things will get better, I thank them. As if it's a privilege not to be beaten to death. Our past lives aren't supposed to matter. I'm beginning to wonder why I'm the only guardian being judged by mine. No more apologies. No more creeping around on eggshells. I deserve an audience with Savathun. I deserve to know how much of what she told me as Osiris was a lie. I deserve answers.
I don't need to be Marasov to see into your mind, Guardian. You think I'm making a mistake. You think I barred Crow out of pettiness. I won't say I didn't recommend it, but it was the Queen's order, for his own safety. I see Prince Uldren's arrogance in him, his desire to please. He's vulnerable. Uldren and your Crow are echoes of each other. Surely you can see that. They share kindred weaknesses. Savathun will exploit them again if we let her. But with Mara back, I can finally see the end approaching. It's been a long time coming. There are still Techians in need of your strength. I wish I could fill their place, but this must be how things are. I'm here if you need me.
People of the last city. Recently, the Vanguard has been scrutinized for a lack of transparency. And we've paid for it. I hope this broadcast represents our efforts to the contrary. Many of you came to me having witnessed the Vex attack. Many of you claim to have seen Osiris present there. We now know this was a deception. An illusion spread by our enemies to turn us against each other. It worked for a time. We mourn those lost to the senseless violence unleashed in our streets. But we have overcome that fear, and we now stand united. Humanity, Elixni, and the Awoken of the Reef. Our allegiance is what the Witch Queen fears. It is what she meant to stop by sowing discord. It is what will lead us to victory. Know that this battle is not one we are bringing to your doorstep, but it is one we fight to keep the city out of the line of fire. The Vanguard asks for your patience and understanding. If you can offer those, we will offer what insights we can to your questions. You are always welcome in the tower, but I will be in the streets.
Kelgaroth, Knight Champion of Death, kneels before his shrine of bone in the fog-ridden depths of the Ascendant Plane. Soul fire recedes into the ground around him. He places his forehead against the shrine, smudging a freshly bloodied sigil of Zivu-Arath. He has added so many layers, but this is the first time the blood is his own. He does so to show his devotion. To reject the heretic sister. To pledge himself anew to war. The Ascendant sky churns around him. He breathes deeply. It is his first breath of this life. He looks to the shrine before him, every vanquished contender ground to meal and packed between skulls to cement them in place. Trinkets of conquest and old spent weapons adorn the shrine from base to apex. He looks to them as he prepares to face his adversary, an empty ghost whose core he had gifted to defected scarlet wizards. Its guardian had ended him many times, but he is Kelgaroth, and through battle he is reborn. No guardian can escape him, for they are heralds of death and he swims in their wake. His eyes drift to another conquest, crystalline implants torn from the forehead of an awoken Teshun. He hunted her through the ley lines for 3 days, tracking her by the stench of her fear. When he found her, she brought the Ascendant Plane down on him. He did not fall for this trick twice. He caught her again with his next life. The Teshun's final words echoed in his thoughts, "I still see the flecks of scarlet in your chitin. How quickly you abandon your Witch Queen." Kelgaroth recalls the night he renounced Savathun, the night he had scoured the scarlet from his flesh on the serration beds deep within the Hellmouth, the night Osiris slaughtered all Crota's kin. Savathun was weak to allow their deaths, to cede ground to the celebrant, to guardians. Zivu-Arath avenged them. Zivu-Arath took Osiris's light, and Kelgaroth guzzled from it with vows of vengeance. He would prove his allegiance by stamping out any trace of the heretic sister. Herdru, his adversary, was a knight who still claimed fealty to Savathun. Herdru would be an instrument of example. Through battle, Kelgaroth would confirm his new god. Through blood, he would erase the name Savathun and don that of Zivu-Arath. He stands. Bows. Grips the cleaver and shield he will carry until he falls again. Herdru, he whispers to the bones. Tonight, he will purify himself in death,